Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be making this folding camping chair just out of some pine. So it folds out like that and then simply just lift it up and drops down. Folds up, nice lightweight flat chair. There's a little handle there to grab, so stay tuned, we'll get into it. For this project I'm just using 19 by 140mm pine board, and I'm going to rip this 140mm board down into 4 30mm pieces. So I started off by cutting the board on the miter saw, just so I didn't have to cut 4 individual legs down to the same length. Here you can see I'm ripping the 19mm board down into 30mm pieces for the legs. I also ripped up a length that you can see behind me there of 12mm board into 30mm pieces to use for the slats for the top of the chair and also the cross braces. In this video you can also see I'm using my new table saw. Took a bit of adjustment out of the box to get it cutting right, but it's cutting really accurate now and I'm really enjoying using it. However, I just wish with my stand though I had have designed some sort of an outfeed table, because as you can see I'm just dropping my pieces on the floor and it was dinting the corners of them. Also forgot about the top, so I forgot to cut the top pieces, so they're 19 by 30 and they are 350mm long, so I'm just cutting those here now. I then went through and marked out all the holes, so that needs a 6mm by 40 countersunk bolt, and that will hold the legs together. I then used a centre punch that I had in my toolbox to put a bit of a dent in the wood so the drill bit had somewhere to go. Then went through the wood with the 6mm drill bit, so I drilled all the holes first with the 6mm drill bit, which you can see me doing here. And then I used a old Craig drill bit and drilled a counterbore hole for the nuts to sit in, and a countersink so that the chair could fold up and the heads wouldn't foul on the other legs of the chair. Then used a 22mm socket to mark out the rounded ends of the wood. It's roughly 30mm in diameter, so it was perfect for this job. And then I used a disc sander to sand the radiuses on the end of the wood. And here you can just see me cutting the slats down to length for the top of the chair. I just taped them together and just tried to cut as many as I could in one cut. Here I'm just marking the notches on the seat top rails. So this is where the seat will lock into to hold the chair in its upright position. So I've just set my miter saw on a compound angle here and also set the depth stop to about, I think it was 13mm deep. And here you can just see I just plough through it with the saw. I'm just marking out the half lap joints for the cross braces on the chair. So I've set my saw on a 45° angle to cut those, and also set the depth stop now to 6mm because these are 12mm thick, so I wanted to cut half of the material away. Unfortunately, all you could see in the video was my elbow, so I just left it at that. A really good tight fit with those pieces, and I was really happy with how they came out. So I glued those up, clamped them, and left them overnight, and come back, and they were all done the next day. I then went through and lined all the seat slats up so they were clamped square and straight, and I used one of the seat rails to mark a line across them all on each side so I knew where to line them up with. I then squared it up and lined it all up and used a bit of nails and glue and joined it all together. I then double checked for square once I'd nailed it together, and she was spot on. Here you can see I'm just using a 12mm piece of scrap wood to space out the slats, and then I'm also using a piece on the end to line it up so that they're all in a straight line. After all that work, I was absolutely fanging a feed, so I pushed down a quick sanger for lunch and got back into it. After my lunch, I started cutting the miters for the feet, so that's what you can see me doing here. After I cut the miters, I went and loosely fitted the whole seat together and then decided to put the rail in that locks into the seat. Once I'd nailed and glued that rail on, I then went and marked out the cross braces for where I needed to cut those with the jigsaw, and went and did that. I then lined the cross braces up with exactly where they needed to go, got a bit of glue on them, and then used my nail gun to nail them down. I then pulled the chair apart so I could sand all the parts up and tidied it all up before finally putting it back together.
Cry Club on Triple J. Here's my name. I'm with you all afternoon. Good lads on Triple J.
As you can see, that counterbore is coming in handy here. It captures the nut so you don't need a spanner on it, but it also just brings that nut in a bit further so that it doesn't catch on anything when you move the chair around. Once again, I'm pretty pumped on how this chair came out. There's a few little bits and pieces which annoyed me, but mainly with the cross braces. I'd never really done anything like that, but it all come out really good. So thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, stay tuned for more videos to come.